Hello everyone. Hi. Here we go, Sunday night, and I've got some fun crafting stuff for you tonight. How is everyone? How was your weekend? Mickle ham, Margaret. That's an interesting. I've never heard of that. Well, there you go. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late on tonight. I did say I was I'm going to be really brutally honest with you. I said I was sorting out my camera. My iPhone is my camera and I couldn't find it. So I had to play a sound on it. Thank goodness Apple allows me to do that. And then I could find it, and then I had a camera ready to go. So we're a little bit behind schedule tonight. We had a very nice dinner, just some Mexican food, and I had Ben and Paul helping me, and we put on a really nice dinner. We did it all together, which was lovely. How is everyone tonight? Has anyone else had a nice dinner? I hope you have. Hey, Margaret, I see that you were on early as you usually are. Hey, Chris. Hi, Leslie. How are you doing? Hello, Rose. Hope you're well. Hope this has been a good week for you. Everyone's saying hi. Hi, Subu, all the way from, it's hot and sticky still. I thought it'd be cooling down by now, Subu, because you're in the UK. So, aren't you in autumn weather now? All right. I'm not going to be able to say hello to everyone individually. I am going to apologize for that. Yes, Cookie is here, Megan. He's chatting away. As soon as he hears me start to talk, away he goes. He likes to have his bit to say as well. Hey, Katrina, how are you? Nice to see you. Hope you've had a great weekend. Did anyone get any time to craft this weekend? Anybody at all? Hi, Linda from Florida. Nice to meet you. Good to see you here. Still doing physio, Leslie. That's good, though. That's progress, right? I hope you're better. Oh, Rose, dose of antibiotics and feeling better. Fantastic. Yes, I did use the Find Your Phone. That's how I found it. So, yes, thank goodness for Apple devices that you can find. Oh, you made a quilt, Solvega. Wow, I'm very impressed. I'd love to make a quilt. Let's be clear. I don't want to become a quilter. I would love to make a quilt. The closest I've got so far is I have crocheted myself a quilt, which it's a blanket that I'm very happy with. But I'm so glad to hear everyone's had a great weekend. No, we cannot leave him out. Exactly right. All right, so let's get stuck into this. Hello, Joanne. Nice to see you. Glad to hear that you got your embossing folder. That's awesome. Oh, a Bargello quilt. Those are beautiful. Is it Bargello or Bargello? I never know how to say it. It's also a paper crafting technique. I have made cards using that technique, so that's also something you can do. If you can quilt, you can make it with paper as well. All right. Okay, so let's get started. I just noticed that my my hoodie matches my chairs behind. Where is it? That way. Matches the chair. So, and the color is, although I think the chair is Coastal Cabana, the color, and the shirt is more Tahitian Tide, I think. Oh, is it close? No, not quite. Maybe, does anyone remember the old Tempting Turquoise? Because that was a great color. You never heard of that? Well, there you go. Maybe I will, but yes, it's a quilting. You can look it up and you'll see exactly what Joanne is talking about. Yes, I understand, Leslie. When something like that's been going on for so long, you just want it fixed, and you want it fixed now, right? So there we go. All right. So tonight I have a couple of things to do. One by request. Kelly had asked me if I could show the Handcrafted element set, and I thought I would do that. That'll be the second card. The first card, though, I've got an idea in my head, like I often do, and I wanted to show you some new products. So let me switch over to the desk. Here we go. And you can see there's absolutely nothing there right now, but we're going to change that because I'm going to bring in the beautiful, beautiful paper from the Autumn Leaves suite of products. I'm so excited that I'm allowed to show you the inside of the catalogue now. Before I couldn't. Up until the 6th, which was last Wednesday, I couldn't. I couldn't show you. So what page is this on? It's the Autumn Leaves Suite, and it's right up here near the back. So give me a second. Here it is. Page 43. Well, 42 and 43 is where it starts. And you can see it's this great stamp set called Autumn Leaves. And there's matching die set as well. Okay, and then we've got these fun, these are adhesive back speckled dots. I don't have these yet. They're on my list. They'll be on an order coming in very, very soon, but I don't have them yet, but I really like them. Then we've got this gorgeous natural ribbon. It's kind of, people have said, is it burlap or is it hessian? We say hessian in Australia, and I believe in the US they say burlap, but it's the same thing. But no, this is not that. It is more like a cotton ribbon. It's very, very beautiful, really, really nice. And then in the same pack is this gorgeous copper ribbon. I'm just wondering, I can show you a card I made with them. This is a card I made a couple of weeks ago, and I've used this embossing folder, this one that's part of this suite as well. It's called the Distressed Tile. Can you see it? And I did it with Lost Lagoon, and actually then rubbed my Lost Lagoon ink pad over the top to get this even more distressed look. So I really liked how it came out. This is some of the paper, which I'm about to show you. I use the stamps and dies here, and these are also the dies. And here's that gorgeous ribbon. I frayed the ends. Can you see that? It's so, so nice. Really nice to work with. And I tied it off with some linen thread because I thought that was nice. But down here I used the copper ribbon, this bit here. That's what's underneath there. And I don't know if you can see it. It is so shiny. It is just gorgeous. Looks like molten copper. Just gorgeous. So I've used all sorts of different elements in different ways on this card. Not making that one tonight. We're going to make a different one instead. I kind of was inspired, I think, by this one. Okay, not going to do it exactly like that. In fact, it's going to be nothing like that, but this one is the one that gave me the idea. And who else does that? Who uses the pictures in the catalogue to oh, you Googled it, Megan? Yes, there you go. It is very impressive. That's right. So yeah, my feeling is that sometimes if you aren't sure where to start, a really great place to start is with the catalogue itself. Look at the samples. The girls that put the sample, or I should say the team, because I don't know if there's any guys in the team or not, but it's the concept art design team, and they do all the samples for the catalogues. What a perfect job is that? I'd love to have that job. But they do such a great job of showing off our different suites in different ways. And so this page here is just samples with this set. And if you turn over to the next page, there's a couple more. There's a couple more here, okay? And here's the stamp set and here's the dies. And you can buy them together as a bundle, or you can get them separate. So you can just buy the dies or just buy the stamps. Or if you are buying the bundle, you save 10%. If you love everything and you have to have it all, because I know some people are like that, then you can get the All About Autumn suite, everything with one code, which saves you putting each code in individually. And then for everything, the stamps, the dies, the speckled dots, the 2 ribbons, the embossing folder, the oxidized copper paper, which is divine, and the beautiful All About Autumn 6x6 paper, which is foiled on one side. Everything is $186.50 here in Australia. Okay, so the bundle, just the stamps and dies, are going to be $98, which is a 10% saving, but everything is $186.50. Someone did ask me the other day if I have enough, together to get a $750 order gets you a half price item. So if you're very close to the $750 mark, you might want to think about taking yourself just over the $750 mark, because not only do you get a higher level of discount when you get your free products, you get more free products, but you also get a half price item. And so your half price item can be anything in the catalogue except the sweets. Okay, the sweets is the one thing you cannot order as a half price item. You can order a bundle, you can order a cut and emboss machine, you can order anything, but not the sweets. They're the only things that don't work when you try and put them in as a half price item. So I just sort of say that. The copper ribbon is beautiful, Jody. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, I like it very much too, Chris. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. Yep. So you're saving up for this one for next month, Leslie, for next quarter. I get it. Totally understand. Yeah, there's some really great ideas in the catalogue. There really is. I know. Wouldn't that be the best job in the world, Megan? That's like my dream job. Let's sit down in Stampin' Up's offices and just design cards all day long. What an amazing job that is. Everything, anything you want would all be there. So there you go. All right. So it is a beautiful suite, and I thought I would show it to you tonight because, it's stunning. Do you know, I didn't buy this suite on my very first order because it wasn't on my have-to-have list. It did go on my second order, and now I'm kind of wishing I had it from day one because I just love it so much. So I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? All right. So this is foiled paper. So this is what we call specialty paper. One side has photorealistic designs. So this one's got there's, this book collection reminds me, it could have come out of Harry Potter. And I think it was Ellen Woodbridge that did it, where she had these with the owls, because we have a set of owls and owl dies. And that would look really fun because it would look like Hedwig from Harry Potter. So if you're into that, so I'm just going, there's 4 of each design, 12 different designs for a total of 48 sheets. And I'm just going to go through them because they are absolutely beautiful. So this gorgeous photorealistic picture on one side gives you one kind of look. And then look at that. That's like a leather texture. Looks good though, right? And you're probably thinking, what would I do with that? Well, that's okay if you aren't sure. Oops, I think I showed that one before. The leaves is gorgeous. And can you see when you look at the back of these, the foiled papers are on the back. Okay. I don't know which is the A sides and which is the B sides because they're both really, really different. Really, really lovely. More books. If you've got someone who's a reader, they might like that. Pumpkins and autumn leaves. That says very Thanksgiving to me, whereas, we don't do Thanksgiving here in Australia. But I tell you what, every day has something to be thankful for, right? Don't you think? And this is like a velvet corduroy. How nice is that? I agree, Megan. The DSPs in the last couple of catalogues have just been absolutely beautiful. Look at this looking from above at all the autumn colours. Wouldn't you like to be flying over that forest? That's just gorgeous. You got some purple in there too. Just beautiful. All right, so this is the one I used on my card. I cut my tag out of this wood grain. Okay, I really liked that. I thought it looked really nice. And you can make masculine cards very easily with some of these, like the leather and the wood grain, I think would make great masculine cards. This reminds me of the area near my husband's hometown in the US, where he grew up in Michigan. That's what it kind of reminds me. It gives me those kind of vibes for this autumn, or what they say fall kind of year, right? And then like a knitted, cozy kind of sweater. I'm going to go through and show you the backs in a second. All right, so, and then we've got the sun coming through the forest there, which is just beautiful. So, yeah, it's hard to restrain yourself though, Leslie, right? It's very hard. So, thank goodness those of us who are demonstrators are getting a discount on every order. So that makes it a lot more manageable, because you know that if you were a customer, you'd want to buy all those things anyway. But at least, and you know what, it's great being able to get a discount. For me, because I do it as a business, it's not only a discount, it's a tax deduction. Hey, it's like as if I needed an excuse, right? So this B side here, these are, aren't they beautiful? Look at this. I love these. Just gorgeous. So it's copper foil on these gorgeous colors. All right. Slap a sentiment photo on that set of papers and call them done. I know, exactly. If you just wanted to make a whole bunch of easy cards, you could just use those photos on one side. These have got the most beautiful copper autumn tones. Look at that. That's with Moody Mauve. Copper and Moody Mauve. I think they were like made to go together. How beautiful is that? With Mossy Meadow. That's gorgeous. I love these. This one to me looks like Moroccan tiles or something like that, and it's got the foil on it again. Are you like me? I could look at these all day. Seriously, I really could. Look at them. I'm just trying to separate them out for you. More Moody Mauve. More Mossy Meadow. Another tile kind of a one. Just beautiful. More Mossy Meadow. And then there's also, here's just some like cream, vanilla, and copper, which also looks really lovely. So, yeah, they are stunning. So I thought, I've already decided, I think, what I want to do. And I have kind of given it a little bit of thought, but not too much. So I do know what I want to do with these. Oh, I think I might have dropped, because there's meant to be 3 of these. So if I've dropped one, well, I guess I'll just have to, if I can't find it, I'll just have to cut another one. It's not going to be too big a problem, but I'm looking on my desk. Did I? Oh, well, I'll make another one. Not a problem. All right, so I'm using, this is my card front size piece of Pretty Peacock, and I've chosen it because I love this Pretty Peacock and copper foil piece here. I just think that's lovely. So let's go with that. This is 14.3 centimeters by 10 centimeters. If you're in the US, let me have a quick look. You're going to be doing 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. Sorry, 4 by 5 1/4. Sorry, beg your pardon. All right, so I want my wood grain to go down, not across. So I'm going to use the full amount that I've got here. How much have I got? I've got 2.5 inches or roughly 6.5 centimeters ish. I think it's 6.3 centimeters. The reason I'm doing that in inches is because this paper is 6 by 6 and therefore is in inches, and it's just easier. I'm going to take a tiny, like a 1/16 of an inch off that, only because I've got a little bit of a rough edge. So there we go. That's going to go like that. And I want this to be a little bit smaller than my base. My base was 14.3, so this is going to be 13.8. And I'm going to, my trimmer blade just came out, so let me put that back in. There we go. All right, so this, and then this piece also, I'm going to have that piece be 9.5. So it's 0.5 centimeter smaller. Oh, that's interesting. It might be time to get a new blade, because I think I must have broken something on that one. It keeps wanting to fall out, and I will lose that in no time at all. So this is going to be 9.5 as well. So basically, hang on. Did I do? No, so that's going to be 9.5. Done that one already, and this is going to be 13.8. What am I saying? Seriously, I think I'm a bit tired tonight, guys. You might have to remind me to double check my numbers, because it's not going so good tonight. Oh, that's a really lovely idea. Great idea, Shirley, to give them as a gift. All right, so I'm thinking this is going to go on here like this, and I might even want to cut this down a little bit more. So let's make it a little bit less wide. So let's come down to 2 1/4 and see how that, which is 5 and 7. I do need to grab another. I will have to grab another one, because I've broken something off that and it's not staying in the track. So never had that happen before. Well, there we go. All right. The reason I don't want this to be too wide is I want to see the gorgeous coppery paper underneath. And I'm going to have these on here. So I think I could come down even a little bit more. Let's go a tiny bit smaller. Let's go down to 5 centimeters if you're wanting centimeters, or 2 inches. So let's see if we can. That's better. All right. So let me put this. Now, the question is, do I want to put it just straight on? Look how nice the copper is on there. Isn't that beautiful? Do I want to put it straight on, or do I want to put a mat underneath it? In this case, I'm thinking maybe straight on. I don't know that I need a mat. I mean, if I was going to do a mat, I'd want a darker color, which I don't actually have any like early espresso or anything like that. So I'm thinking I might leave it as it is. Too much tequila at my dinner? No. In fact, I said no to a drink with dinner, so it can't be that. Can't be that. Hey, Louise, how are you? Nice to see you tonight. So I'm going to use, it doesn't matter what glue you use here. You could use Tombow like I have here, or you could use, I need to shake it down. It's a new one, but I think it might be a little blockage. Let me squeeze it a little bit harder. Here we go. Or you could use seal, or you could use tape, whatever you like to use is absolutely fine. There is no right or wrong when it comes to adhesive. Oh, occasionally there's some techniques that lend themselves more to one adhesive than another. But yeah. Did you have a good weekend, Louise? Do anything special? You've been traveling? Been away in your caravan? All right, I'm going to put this not right at halfway. I'm going to go slightly higher than halfway, and I'm going to put it straight flat. Now, I cut these leaves, the ones you can see here, with the dies from this matching set, and I cut them from the oxidized copper paper. So like I said, I'm going to go slightly higher than halfway, a little bit up, because I want to have my sentiment down the bottom here. So I don't want to go right in the middle. All right. So you can see how nice. Look at this. How beautiful. How gorgeous is this? It's just stunning. Let me pull out the pack for you so you can see it. There's 4 sheets in the pack and 2 of each of these. Okay, so you've got this one with the pretty peacock on it. Pretty peacock and copper. Can you see that? It's really lovely. It looks like almost like a patina on the copper. And then this one is just copper. I'm using the just copper today because I thought it stood out more. If I used the pretty peacock, I think I would have lost it a little bit. But I really, really like the copper. So let me grab my machine. And I'm going to show you these gorgeous dies because these are stunning. They're so beautiful. I'm going to need 2. There's 2 of these, so you can cut two at a time. How nice are they? And do you notice they've got this design on them, which means they don't just cut. It doesn't just cut straight through. It also cuts this design. So like the veins of the leaf is also shown there. Okay, so really, really nice. I love them so much. So I'll need to do another one because I've only got 2. I don't know what happened to my third one, even though I did definitely cut it. So I'm going to bring in my machine, my cut and emboss machine for you. We've got our base piece there. I've got my leaf. Look, I've even got the piece where I cut my 3 leaves. So who knows what's happened to the other leaf? I'll find it as soon as this is over, because that's how this works, right? I'm going to have 3. So this is actually a really simple card, but the paper is so stunning. Now, while we're here, I'm thinking I will also cut a sentiment label as well. And I've got some very vanilla, which I think would be good for a sentiment in this case. You could emboss the sentiment, which would look fabulous, but I'm not going to do that tonight, just in the interest of time. And that's okay. We don't have to have fancy all the time. Sometimes it's all right to have a little bit of go easy, you know. Gosh, I hope I can find that leaf I just cut. Oh my gosh. Did anyone see where I put it? Never mind. It's all good. We'll find it in just a minute. All right, so there's a couple of different labels in this set. Okay, there's this one which is more square and this one which is longer. And it's probably going to come down to which sentiment do we want to use. So I've got the stamp set here, I've got this I'm thankful. I've got this autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful, and with a grateful heart. I want to use one of those three. The first person to tell me which one, please, please let me know. Oh, Donna, I'm so sorry, honey. That's not what you want to hear at all. I'm so sorry. And don't apologize for being late. Did I check the floor? No, not yet. Oh, you know where it probably is? I found it. It's still stuck in the die. That's why. That's where it is. Oh, I wonder if the other one might be still stuck in the other die. Remember, there's two. I bet there is. I bet that's where it is. How funny. All right, let me, I've got my three. Okay, so while I've got this out, I've got to decide. Thankful says, okay, I'm thankful. All right, so that is this one. And if we're having I'm thankful, that's made me know which die I need to choose, because the squarer die isn't going to work. This one, the longer die, that's the one I'm going to need for that greeting. You need a crafty session. Well, that's what we're here for, right? We do that well. And I'm sorry you've had such a sad week, but I'm glad that we can all be here together tonight. All right, so I've got this label now that I've done. And let's pop this on a block. Now, the question will be, what color will we do? Because we have a few choices. I could go with a dark brown, like early espresso, which would look really, really nice. And I'm deciding whether, I was originally thinking I could do a like a vanilla base, but I'm thinking maybe instead, what do you think? A crumb cake base? Now, if we do a crumb cake base, well, that does look rather good. If we do a crumb cake base, then it won't matter. We can use one of the browns, such as pecan pie or early espresso on here, or we could go with the pretty peacock that is in our card base. So either way. Pretty peacock, Joanne is saying, and so is Megan. So it looks like that's the way we need to go. We've had a few people here who've lost fur babies lately, and I know that because this is such a caring group that many of you understand, and that's, yeah, it's very sad. Well, I still don't know where the other leaf went. I thought maybe it was in the back of my die, but it's not. So it'll show up. It'll show up almost as soon as I finish this video, because that's how it works. All right, so you can see we've got the big die here that matches this stamp, and we've got a number that match the different components. Like this one here matches this leaf, and these two are stamped together, and there is a die that cuts both of those out as well. So it is just a beautiful set, and every time I've used it, I've only used it a couple of times so far, but each time I've used it, I have been so impressed by what I was able to create with these beautiful pieces. So even though it's not coming into autumn here, for us in Australia, it's actually springtime. But that doesn't mean we don't appreciate how beautiful autumn is. So it will be autumn eventually again on the other side of summer. So let's pop that down. All right, so I've got my three leaves, and I'm deciding what to do, whether I want to have them three going facing up like this. I'm going to put them on dimensionals, so they're going to be sitting up, or whether I want to have them on an angle. If I want them, do I want them to be all the same, or do I want them to be different? Do I want them to be on different angles? I have a feeling that all the same would look rather nice. What do you think? They're all shiny. Pop of clay, says Jody. Yeah, it might look good. Oh, I'm so sorry, Subo. I've already done the crumb cake base. Sorry about that. All right, let me grab my dimensionals. It could go on a big leaf cutout. That would look nice. That would be lovely, actually. I'm just going to put one dimensional behind each of these, because they do need to sit up so they'll stand out just that little bit extra. And it's probably easier to start either with one in the middle and then do your 2 on each side, or if you really want to make sure you have this one so that you like the angle being the same. Yeah, I think that's what people are saying. All right, so this one is not quite a centimetre from this end. And so then if I put this one over here, so it's not quite a centimetre from the other end, but it's on the same angle and about the same height. So it's going to be about there. And then this one can just go in the middle. So let's do that. Let's take this backing off my dimensional, and I'm going to pop that right there. Then I'm going to turn this one over and pop it right there as well, and it's about the same distance from the end, and then that means I've left a space there in the middle for the other one, and it's easier to work out where that needs to go. So it needs to just go there in the middle, just like that. Very simple though, isn't it? Right, so this is going to go along here. Now that I've put my put this on together, I'm kind of thinking it would have been nice maybe to have maybe a bit of the copper oxidized paper behind there would have been nice. But what we could do is, let me grab my copper ribbon, because I think that might be a nice addition to this card. Okay, so this is the copper ribbon, and I have shown this previously, but how beautiful is this? Can you see how gorgeous it is? It's like I said, it's like liquid copper. It's just beautiful. So we could, we could have it going all the way along, which would look very nice. Okay, but that would have been better if I did that before I stuck it down. Or I can tie a little bow and just having it sit to one side. So I have got this piece, and I think someone said before that we should go with Pretty Peacock ink for this. Is everyone happy with that? Ah, there you go. Kelly's giving you some good advice, Shirley. There's a few people here who have been through pain in similar situations. So I'm going, I'm thankful. And I'm just going to make sure that's right there in the middle of my label, because they're see-through, these acrylic blocks. You can see exactly where it needs to be placed. I keep realizing I'm ever so slightly crooked. Don't know how that happens, but anyway, I must have bumped it. All right, so I'm thinking we've got a few options now. Okay, this probably should be up on dimensionals. I think so. We could tie a little tiny bow and having it sitting here on the side or down the, maybe it's, if I was going to put it on the right, then I would probably want my sentiment on the left, but I don't like it there as much. So the other option is I could have it sticking out at the ends. So I could have, having a little bit stick out on either side, which would look nice. Or I could have 2 pieces on either side. So I could have, like, I could have like a little snip that, and then I'd have 2 little pieces on one side there. I could do it on both sides, or I could have it on one side. Lots and lots of options. Okay. Yes, sticking out, says Kay. And zigzag would be another cut a 1/2 centimetre strip of the copper paper. We could do that. We could do that. I've got plenty of it. Look, I've got some right here. Is that going to be enough? Ooh, that is enough. Look at that. So I'm just going to do a tiny, tiny bit of this. So let's have a look and see how that would look. I feel like we could do that and just have that sitting to the bottom. What do you think? Do we like that idea, having just that strip there across the bottom? And then this piece on top, and then maybe a little tiny bit of the copper folded and coming out the side here behind our. Okay, let's do that. You like that? Good. Let's just see how we go. So this is a fun session for me too, because I never know what's going to end up coming up, you know, what we're going to end up doing. I have a rough idea in my head of what I want to do, but then it always ends up a little bit different. Isn't that copper beautiful? How nice is that? It's all shiny. We love shiny, right? All right, so I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals under here. And then I'm going to cut myself. Let me see. Have I got my ribbon scissors close by? I haven't got my ribbon scissors, but that's okay. I'm going to use my paper snips and get away with that sometimes. And then what we can do is take off the other back. That's going to work better if I take the back off. What do we think? Do we like that? We need some bling, definitely. We definitely need to have a little bit of bling on this. And we've got a few choices. So let's have a look at the choices. We have the brush metallics, which you guys have seen me use before. These are in their annual catalogue. They're these. Okay, and they come in copper, bronze, and gold. Obviously, I'll be looking at the copper for these. And we've also got these sequins that do like a flat. And I'm thinking maybe these might work really well because we've got all the shiny of the copper. But maybe these flat, they're still pretty. But can you see they're not super shiny? The rustic pearls would be nice too. Ooh, there's some good ideas. All right, so my choices are copper sequins. I'd go probably 2 big and 1 small, or 1 big and 2 small, probably. And then the rustic pearls is another rustic pearls. Actually, no, I'm not thinking of rustic pearls. I'm thinking of rustic metallic dots, which is what I quite often stick on a masculine card. Oh, we've also got copper clay. Copper clay might look nice too. That's quite shiny, and it's a little bit deeper than the copper, so that would show up really well. There's our copper again. What do you guys think? Yeah, the only other one I think that would work really well for me would be the rustic metallic dots, which I'm currently trying to find. But hang on, here they are. So they're these. They're kind of like a bronze, not a copper so much, but they're kind of bronzy. But they would also work. So many choices, right? Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, Kelly. Yep. You know what? That's a really good attitude, Shirley. That's right. There is always someone worse off, isn't there? That's so true. Yep. All right. I think we might need to have an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because we've had I do like these copper clay. I do think that's really, really beautiful. I like the sequins, but I love the rustic dots. So far I love these, and I like these, but it might be too much copper the same. So yes, Kelly, thank you for saying that as well. Just because there is always someone worse off, and I think the same thing when something happens to me. And like Kelly said, it doesn't make your pain any less valid. So true. That's really, really wise. Thank you, Kelly, for saying that. The copper clay. Okay, we're getting lots of different responses. So I'm thinking right now we might go with the copper clay. I hope everyone's okay for me to do that. Not sure where to put them. Maybe one over here. Can you see how they're deeper? And they're 3 different sizes. There's a small, a medium, and a large. There we go. How about that? And I'm going to call that a finished card. But really, very simple. And there's lots of things I could have done instead. I could have embossed my greeting. I could have tied a bow, because there's lots of things you could do, but the truth is that these elements with all the copper and the beautiful foiling and all the lovely, it's just so beautiful. You don't need, you can let the papers and the pieces do the talking for you. You don't have to go over the top yourself. You can keep it pretty simple. So there you go. Card number 1, we're done. I'm going to say it's a done card. And I'm still wondering what happened to that extra leaf. It never did show up, but that's okay. We'll work that out another day. Okay, let me put a couple of things away and then we'll get very quickly into our second card. And Kelly, I've been talking to you because you asked to see the handcrafted elements, and I'm very happy to oblige you. I've got an idea very roughly of what I'd like to do with it. Very, very simple. I did a card with it a couple of weeks ago that I showed people the other night. It's the one with the snowflake magic, the Lost Lagoon and tealy colours, and it had a white ornament on it. I did show it on Friday night. I'm not sure where that card is right now, but I showed it the other night. Okay, so these are the handcrafted elements dies. Oh, and I've still got a piece of paper stuck in with the die because I got this ready just before we started. I'm going to show them to you in the catalogue and show you what it was that the reason why I bought them. This was a set that I missed kind of the first time I went through the catalogue. And when I was going through another time, one of the samples caught my eye. So these are the dies. Okay, they are stunning, absolutely beautiful. This one is a really interesting little label with a flower and the leaf coming off the edge of it. Then there's a tag. There's a really nice little star. And then there's a few big emblems. But what really, really grabbed my attention was this and this. Okay, now in the catalogue, they're on the right-hand side. Let me just quickly locate them for you. Oh, getting close. Here they are, page 21. Okay. Is it in the stamp container? It could be, Shirley. I am not sure, but you know what? It's okay. I'll find it later. We made the card, so I'm happy with the card. All right. So I looked at these couple of samples, and they just really appealed to me. So the card I made the other night the card that I showed the other night, I kind of did this idea. I used this, they used the May Your Christmas Be Merry and Bright from the Joy to You set, which is down here. I used the Wishing You a Merry Christmas, and I did what they've done. So when you cut this die here, okay, there's the ornament. And what they've done to create this card is they trimmed off, with a pair of scissors, they trimmed off this piece. So just do that for you so you can see. And then they cut just like this. And then they put the greeting onto a piece of, I did mine on just white, and that's what they've used as well here. And they put the greeting in the middle, and they put the ornament on the top and the bottom of the greeting to make it look like it was part of it. And so when you put the greeting in the middle and the top and the bottom on, it looked like a full emblem, like a full decoration. Super, super nice. I really like the idea that they used there, and I thought that's so cool. But then there's also this piece here. Can you see this? Let me see if I can bring it up a little bit closer. So this is page 21 of your catalogue, and they've used this piece, this oval piece with the little cutouts like little flowers. They've used that as a background, and I really liked it. I thought that is so cute. Super, super cool. And then I realized that the shape of this oval and the shape of this decoration match. They're the same. Okay, so this decoration can actually fill in the middle of your ornament, and I like that idea. So it just really spoke to me. I really wanted to get it. It doesn't match, it's standalone, it doesn't match a stamp set, it's just by itself. I went ahead and I cut one of the ovals that I was just talking about, and I cut it out of gold foil. Okay, how nice is it? Isn't it pretty? Okay, so you can see that this perfectly matches up. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So it actually fills in the center of your ornament. I love this. I think it's so, so clever. All right. Carol, if you've been debating on these and you don't want to be convinced, don't watch this video. Go away and make yourself a cup of tea or something. Because I think seeing how these work together makes you want them. It really does. Well, it did for me. So I was sort of playing around with different colors and trying to work out what I wanted to do. And then I thought, well, this will go really nicely with the walk in a forest paper. So I've got that beautiful paper right here. Love this paper. Oops, that's not the same one. So this is part of it. I've got a few of the pieces here because I've been using it. I used it for a class the other day. And we also used it on Friday night. Do you remember we cut out this tree? And I thought it looked really lovely how it turned out. It's really nice paper. This paper you will find in page, right at the start of the catalogue. I think it's page 4 and 5 from memory. Let me have a quick look. Yep, page 4 and 5. And it's talked about here on page 5 as part of the Making a Difference program. So this is a set that they are donating to charity with. So for every set of the Walk in the Forest paper, they will donate here in Australia $4.25 to Anglicare, which is our local charity here that they are supporting with this paper. Okay, so I think that's really cool that we have a local charity that we are supporting. And I think that this is just beautiful, beautiful paper. And Anglicare do amazing work helping people in need in our communities. So it's really great to be able to give something back by buying some of the paper and know that the money, they always let us know after this, like this ends in December, or actually beginning of January. So after that, once they've finalised it all, they will let us know how much money we were able to raise for Anglicare as part of this promotion. So if anyone is looking for something really cool to do whilst also doing your Christmas card shopping, then this is the beautiful paper for you. The other thing is that our dies in the Merriest Trees dies that I showed on Friday night also match some of the trees in the paper, okay? And the bear matches the bear punch. And that's what I did on Friday night. We made this card together on Friday night. Okay, so that's using the dies from the Merriest Trees and the bear punch, and I just cut it straight out of this sheet of paper. That's why this piece of paper is, you can see there where I punched my bear. And that's why the paper's all chopped up, because I was using it to make this card. So if you missed that, you can go back and watch that on Friday night. So this is the Friday night live that I did most recently. Okay, let's get this out of the way. And I'm thinking for this one, I want like a smaller design. So I'm thinking I could go with that. I could go with stripes. Thinking which one will I go with? I'm having a look to see which paper I like the best for this. I think maybe the stripes might be nice. We've also got some, you know, little green pine needles there. We've got little green trees. We've got some really nice. I love this paper. I think that's gorgeous. This little blue one here. But maybe the stripes. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if this is going to stand out. Stand out on our. So if I was to put this on here, would it stand out enough? And the question is, would we go with Pretty Peacock? Because I think it might be the darkest colour. The shaded spruce isn't the right green. I could get away with it, but it's not quite right. The other option would be garden green. But I think maybe, I think I'm leaning towards Pretty Peacock. I seem to lean towards Pretty Peacock a lot, actually. We are tonight anyway. Must be the mood for it. You happy they chose Anglicare? So Cherie's just saying the Anglicare has a large home care service for the elderly in your town or in your community. And you're working with them delivering the drumbeat counselling course to the kids at school. Fantastic. That is so good to hear. I think I missed your comment, Shirley. I'm just going to go back up and see. to punch out the bear in reverse. Yes, I will show that another time, because I did do a video about that with the deer. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to cut this to 7.5 centimeters across and 11.5 centimeters long. So for anyone who's wondering, that's about 4.5 inches long by about 3 by 4.5, roughly. Okay, so that gives me this. I am going to go with, I'm thinking I will go with just basic white cardstock, but I'm going to do that with the basic white thick, because that's the one that I find I have the best success with when it comes to card bases. So let me just grab a sheet of that. And then we'll double check that this is the right. I'm cutting this piece of A4 cardstock in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half again to make my card base. I use a bone folder to make it nice and flat, so that I have a nice crisp fold. And that way your card sits flat and doesn't try and pop open. Now, is this going to be right? It might be too big. Huh. All right, first of all, let's put this together. All right, so this is going to come through here and shine through. The gold is nice, isn't it? Don't you think so? You can, if you want to, pop all the holes out, because you might notice that some of them are still sitting in there. And if I wanted to just use my pokey tool here on the end of my take your pick tool, I'm going to just get rid of that. Don't have to worry about the top and the bottom so much, because you're not going to see them. You're just going to see that middle row. All right, so let's get our Tombow out. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of Tombow here. Don't worry about the bottom. Okay, we only have to attach it to the oval, and that's just this part here. All right, so I'm going to pop that down so it sits exactly on my oval there. And then I'm just going to give it a bit of a push to make sure it gets a good bond. And that's how it looks. Isn't it nice? I love this. I think that's such a really, really nice idea. All right, let me see if this is going to be the right. Now, I'm deciding whether this is the right size. I think it's the right width, but I might want to have a little bit shorter. Now, the question is, if I leave it long, I could put my greeting across this. So maybe I'll leave it as it is. I do have, let me see, I think I have some Pretty Peacock cardstock close by my desk here. No, might need to get some. But that's okay. I've just ordered more Pretty Peacock because I was running short, and that's a color I don't like to run short on. So I'm going to make this 1/2 centimeter longer. So it's going to be 12. Remember, this one was 11.5. So this one is 12 by 8, because the other one was 7.5. So let's have a look. And then I can make a decision whether I want to cut it down, because it's... Do we like the stripes? No to garden? Yeah, I think so too. I see that. I think, you know what? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put that up there, Katrina. I put up your Pretty Peacock comment and I accidentally let me take that off. So sorry. Oh dear. My fingers are not doing what they're supposed to do. Along with greeting on the bottom. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. I think that's going to be the go. Yes, you could make it up as an ornament for your Christmas tree. Absolutely. All right, so let's pop this down. I hope everyone thinks the stripes are right. I like the stripes. And I'm thinking probably stripes going across the other way might have been nice too. But like horizontally instead of vertically. But, you know, either is fine. All right, now this is going to go here. Now the question is, do I want to tie anything through the hole? It's not necessary, but I could try some gold twine, gold trim through the top if I wanted to. That might look nice, or we could just leave it as it is. What do you guys think? I am not sure. Do two and hang on the tree as an ornament? You absolutely could. Stick them together. That's it. They do. They're lovely, Carol. I told you. Sorry. You went ahead and watched the video anyway, even though I told you not to. It's nice to have you with us. Thanks. Gold trim, says Rose. Do you think gold twine, gold trim? Okay. All right. Let me grab my elegant trim. So we have two trims that come in. This one is this is the elegant trim. It comes in silver, which wouldn't be right on this card, but there's the silver. And I think I'm almost out of the gold. Look at that. There's not much of that one left, is there? I need to there we go. Get some more. Look, I've got a few things on my next order. All right, so I'm going to tie this through. You just want to be careful because it's quite the little hole is quite thin, so you don't want to pull your twine too hard because it would be easy to break it. So I'm going to go pretty softly with this. So you just want to go really gentle and not pull hard. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a broken ring there. All right, let's pop this on. I'm being very, very gentle, very, very careful with this. I do not want it to break. But it's cute, right? All right, now the other thing you can do here is when you pull these bits, you can also put a glue dot behind this to hold it. And I'd be tempted to do that only because you know, it's going to give it a little bit more stability. So let me cut. Oh, there's my ribbon scissors. I found them. All right, so let me, when it comes to putting a glue dot onto something like this is a little bit tricky. You don't want it to show, okay? So I'm going to get my glue dot with the end of a tool. It could be, you know, you take your pick tool. In this case, I'm just using my bone folder. I'm going to roll it a little bit. I'm going to make it a bit smaller before I apply it. So I'm not going to apply the whole glue dot everywhere. I'm just going to put that right there on the back. And it's just going to hold that bow. And we might need to, you know, pull at it a little bit a couple of times. But yeah, just fiddle with it until it's sitting correctly. Because I don't want it to end up broken. So this is the only thing I think is tricky about this, is that if you want to tie something through it, you can, but you just need, if you're going to use twine, you have to be really careful. To be honest, a little ribbon, like a 1/4 inch ribbon, would be a better choice because it wouldn't be so rough and make it potentially break. So yeah, I'm just being really careful. Okay, that's not too bad. And then on the back of this, I'm going to have some dimensionals. Now, I want to have my dimensionals not showing through the holes. So I'm going to have a dimensional here, and I'm going to have one up here, And you could just make do with those two if you wanted to. Yes, that's a good idea too, Kelly. Like that idea. All right, so actually, you know what? I'm going to get my mini dimensionals. Have I got any close by? Oh, you know what? I've only got mini dimensionals in black, but no one's going to see them, so I'm going to use them. That's fine. And so I'm going to have a mini dimensional. You can sort of see where this, you can see where they're dark and where they're light. Okay, so that one's safe to put one on. That one's safe to put one on. You won't see those. And same again down here. One there and one there. Just like that. And that's just going to give it a bit more stability than just the two. The other thing you might notice, I've also put my dimensionals here, the big white ones. I put them over that join, and that helps the decoration hold together better as well. So, but I just love how that oval shape and the decoration fit together so beautifully. Love it. All right, let's put this on. And I'm putting it so it's centered. I'm going straight down. The stripes make it easier to position it. All right, that's looking better. All right, so can you see how that is? All right, so then that's going to go on here. And I'm actually going to put dimensionals under here as well because I, you know, can't help myself. I like a lot of dimension when it comes to my cards. I think it makes your cards look more professional. Just when you're positioning your dimensionals, bring them in a little bit. Don't have them too close to the edge because, you know, it makes them too, you don't want the edge of the dimensional popping out from behind because that doesn't look great. But if you have them well and truly away from the edge, you won't have that problem. All right, so let's position this so it is centered on our card. Looking nice. Do we like that? And then we've got to decide about a greeting. All right, now, I might get my little scrap bucket out. Here it is. And I'm going to see if I've got one that would fit really well. So I could have something like here, if it was a small, short one. Or what set shall we use, actually? I've got the Merry Christmas from the Stars at Night. That's really pretty. And it's a shorter one, so it would fit on here. But if I was going to do that, I'd have it going off to one edge. I'd have it going off to the side. Okay. If I want to center it, I probably prefer to have a longer greeting. We've got this one that says, wishing you the best and brightest holiday season. And that has its own die that is that shape. Let me just, I think I showed you that one the other night, didn't I? We've also got, if we wanted a bigger greeting, we could have a big one like here, but I'm thinking that is quite big and maybe too big for this card. So the Stars at Night bundle has that interesting shape. Merry Christmas off to the side, heat embossed in gold, mega gold, heat embossed greeting verse. Yes, those are all good options. So, you know what it would have been? Absolutely, Betty. Oh, that's what I should have done in hindsight. Betty has the perfect solution. Would it be easier to tie the bow separately and then glue dot it over the top of the ornament? Yes, that is what I should have done. And I wish I had done that. But hey, that's not what we did. So we're just going to go with. So anyway, if I was to do it on white, I would go Pretty Peacock Merry Christmas on a greeting, this is from the Stylish Shapes dies. But another option would be to use Pretty Peacock Probably Pretty Peacock. Yes, I think so. Pretty Peacock cardstock and emboss it in gold. That would take a little longer, but that could be done. That could be the way to go. What do you guys think? Best and bright greeting. Oh, yes, we could do that. Do you mean the best and bright greeting? Are you talking about this one? Like one of these, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Those are really lovely, aren't they? And the Merry and Bright one is bigger. That one's too big, but this one we would get away with. Best and bright greeting. I'm just reading what everyone says. That sounds like a plan, Jan. Yep, that's me, Jan. Peacock embossed with gold. All right, let's go with that. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that's okay. All right, so let me, and I think we'll use our Merry Christmas from the Stars at Night set. And I've already got that one on a block, as luck would have it. So I'm just going to make sure it's clean, because if I'm going to be using it with my Versamark, so you can see the Merry Christmas there? So we've got some Versamark here. Let me grab my embossing buddy. And I've got my embossing additions kit. Okay, so this is my embossing buddy. I'm running it over the page just to stop any static electricity from grabbing onto the powder, so you're less likely to have stray bits of powder if you use one of these. They're great. You don't have to have them, but I do love using it. All right, so we're going to go Merry Christmas. And because this is a photopolymer set, and I want to make sure I get a really good image. I just found the other card I was looking for before. Seriously. I can never find things when I actually need them. Okay, so that's with the Versamark. Okay, you can see it fairly clearly on that darker color. So Versamark is a sticky ink. It's clear and it's sticky, which means that your powder will stick to it, and that's what we want. So I've got some gold embossing powder here. Stampin' Up sells the metallics together in the embossing powders. So if you're buying, you can't buy gold by itself anymore. What you do is you buy a pack of gold, silver, and copper. And then there's basics, which are white, clear, and black, I believe. I hope I've got that right. So I'm just pouring the gold powder on. I'm going to tap off the excess. That's looking pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Now here's a tip for you. Okay. Some of you know I love to give tips. And you can use a brush to get rid of any stray bits of powder if you have them. Now because I use my embossing buddy, I've hardly got any. Oops. I'll put the lid back on that. But if you do happen to get any, okay, you can use the putty end of your Take Your Pick tool. It is like the best thing for getting off a stray bit of powder right there in the middle. And you wouldn't be able to get in there with a brush because you'd be worried that you'd be going to get, other brush off bits that you don't want to move. This is that was the only one I have that's stray, but it's really good at getting rid of those. So just for anybody who was wondering about that. All right, let's bring in my heat tool. Oh, we have two screens. How did that happen? What happened? I don't know how that happens sometimes. All right, let's go back to one screen so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to hook this, and you'll be able to see when it changes, because the gold being a metallic is really easy to see when it changes. Here we go. Won't be long. It's just got to heat up, and then it happens like magic. Here we go. It's very quick. I usually give it an extra blast to make sure it's all cooked, and I check it to make sure that I haven't got any dark bits of powder not uncooked. and that everything has gone hard and shiny. And in almost, you know, within a few seconds, you can run your fingers over it and it's cooled down and it's ready to go. All right, so the gold, it doesn't show, it looks nice, but it doesn't, I think it looks best on like very dark colors like black or navy. On this one, it looks okay, but it's not, you know. Anyway, is this going to be big enough? You know what? It might not be. So what are we going to want to have? I could do this one and then cut it down a little bit shorter. That might work. But I don't want it as short as this. But I'm thinking we want it a little longer. All right. So let me run this through my cut and emboss machine. I'm going to show you a little trick. Here's our machine again. And this is something that you might find, I do this quite a bit. So I'm actually not putting this in, I'm not centering this, okay? I'm going to get the whole thing on. You can see it just goes over the edges a little. But I'm going to run that through. And this is going to be a little bit long for me. Can you see there? I've got it on there, but it's moved to, I've moved it towards the right because I didn't want to have all that extra space. So what we can do is put this back in where we would like it to be. Now, I find if you turn it over and make sure it lines up properly with the die at the back, then it usually, I might even move it a little bit further. So I'm cutting it down on one side. All right, that feels good. Okay, now, if you want to make sure that it doesn't move, something you can do once you've worked out where you want it to go is you can put it into your machine the reverse way. So put it in so that the paper is on top. That way you're sure that it's actually aligned with the rest, with your die. And then put this on. And we'll still cut facing the other way. And this is what's going to happen. This piece has been cut off. See that? And then this piece now is the right size for my sentiments. So you can put it back in and cut off a piece. I think probably most of you knew that, but if you haven't seen that done before, it's actually really easy to do. But if you're really trying hard to make sure it matches up with your die perfectly, turn it upside down and then you can see that it's in the right position. Okay, so let's see how this goes. All right, so our options. We can put it right in the middle. Or we could move it to one side. I think in this case, we need to go within the middle. So I'm actually going to put, the dimensionals underneath. What's Rose saying? Needs a second coat. Yeah, it does look like it does. I'm actually going to redo this before I put it on social media because I'm not quite happy with my embossing on this. But I still, for the point of the exercise, you can see, but yes, it needs a second coat. This is an older powder. I do actually need to get some new gold powder because this one I think is, it looks more like antique gold. And it doesn't show up as well on my, like it doesn't show up as well next to the foil as I would like it to. So I think maybe it's a little bit dark. We could also, of course, put another, you know, another piece on top. just to, and then put a greeting in that as well. That would also be another option. There's a whole bunch of options here, but here we go. I'm going to call it done for tonight, even though I'm not 100% happy with this sentiment, and I'm going to play with it. And I'm going to post it for you over the next couple of days with whatever changes I feel needed to be made. And I did find the other card while I was scrubbling around here on my desk. So give me 1 second. And when I was getting all the papers and things out, this is the other card. Okay, so see how I've used the greeting in the center of the ornament. It makes the ornament look bigger, but it actually almost looks like it's part of the ornament. And that was another option for you as well. So I liked that idea as well. A clear coat, oh yeah, a coat of clear over the second coat of gold. That could possibly work. Does embossing powder go off? That's a really good question, Glinda. I've never had one go off, but I'm wondering, looking at this, I'm not completely happy with that. And I'm wondering if maybe because it's very old, it has. What do you think? Is that possible? 10 points for guessing. What tool Linda will use to double stamp the greeting? I'm not even convinced I love it on the Pretty Peacock. I think maybe it's made the whole card a bit dark. So I'm thinking maybe something different. So I need to have a little play with it and decide what I want to do, whether the Pretty Peacock is too dark. I mean, it was a good idea, and you know, I can't you have had embossing powder go off, Joanne, so there you go. Maybe it is. Maybe that's the problem. I'm glad you caught me live too, Linda. Thank you so much. I like the autumn card. That turned out really lovely. But I mean, it's just because you can't make a bad card with these kind of beautiful things, right? They're just so beautiful. Everything goes. It looks fabulous. Wonder what would happen if you blend white ink over the, maybe. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking this is not right, and I want to play with it and change it over. Let's see what we come up with. And if you watch over the next couple of days, I will post this on my Instagram and Facebook page, and make sure that if you see it, tell me what you think. Tell me what, whether you think it's an improvement on the card that we did live on the video. So there you go. I think that's what's happening with mine, Donna. I think my embossing powder needs refreshing because it looks like mine has gone off. What about gold or white on the Peacock? Yes, white would have been better. Yes, I think it would have been really nice. The white would have looked better than the gold. Absolutely. And because we could also have, some gold bling, and we've got our gold here. So this doesn't need to be gold as well. So here we are. We're troubleshooting, right? Okay, so people are saying goodbye, and I need to as well. But you guys have a fantastic week ahead. I hope that you're enjoying the gorgeous new catalogue that we have. If you have any questions, just a reminder that I am celebrating my 17 years with Stampin' Up this month. I was 17 years official with them on Friday just gone. So for the whole month of September, if you place an order over $60 with me, I will send you 3 cards that I've personally made and selected from my batch, and pop them in the post for you at the end of the month. So if you are thinking of placing an order, this is a great month to do it. Okay, guys, have a fantastic week. Have a fantastic month, and I will see you all next weekend. See you soon. Bye-bye.